Welcome to this very special episode. And as we are one day from celebrating Eid al-Fitr, or the Lesser Bayram, let me here on behalf of our channel congratulate all Muslims around the world and in the Arab world for this very special occasion. Today is the last day in the holy month of Ramadan. May it have been blessed for everyone around the globe, for all Muslims around the globe, and for our dear beloved Egypt. And let me here tell you, before we start with our episode, let me welcome and invite you to Egypt, to see Egypt and to see the feast in Egypt and the flavor of the feast in Egypt, because it's different, as the taste of the holy month of Ramadan is very special in Egypt. Also, the feast in Egypt is very special. People enjoy their times during the feast holiday, and this has evolved to going on trips and reflects on the tourism sector. And this is exactly what we will be focusing on tonight in our very special show. Before we delve into our discussion, let me first welcome our guests. Rana Ihab, researcher at the Faculty of Archaeology, Egyptologist and Heritage. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for you, and I'm very happy to be here today on this occasion. And I think this will be a good episode about tourism and the places we have to visit in Egypt here.
Hopefully it would be a very nice episode speaking about Egypt and Egypt's tourism, because Egypt is a very potential, or a country with many potentials for tourism. And before we start with our discussion, let's first have a quick look on this report. And Egypt aims to attract 30 million tourists by 2028, according to the tourism minister. Let's watch.
Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Ahmed Isa presented the new national strategy for tourism in Egypt and stated, since October last year, the ministry began to develop policies for developing the tourism sector until 2028 to reach 30 million tourists. Besides, the strategy aims to achieve annual growth rates ranging from 25 to 30%, based on the level of 3,000 institutions in 5 different chambers of tourism in Egypt, led by a strong private sector through the Egyptian Tourism Federation. The minister said that the national strategy for the development of the tourism sector is based on 3 elements that represent the triangle of success to achieve the target of 30 million tourists. The first element of the strategy represented doubling capacity available to Egypt Air 3 times the current one until 2028, in addition to raising tourism awareness and protecting tourists from harassment and fraud. Isa pointed out that Egypt's market share is less than 1% in 2019, and therefore much less than its components in light of the elements and global demand estimated at 1,500 million tourists, noting that the problem is not on demand side, but rather on supply side, as Egypt's tourist attractions are endless. He added that Egypt's tourism enjoys a huge competitive advantage in 5 types of tourism. And our study also proved that there are 272 million potential tourists interested in the current Egyptian tourism product, with some modifications. Isa elaborated that furthermore, the tourism movement grew starting from the first 2 months of this year by 34% compared to the same period last year. It is expected to grow this year by 30%. However, the minister revealed that Egypt, with the current potentials, cannot serve more than 14 to 15 million tourists annually, effectively and efficiently, due to limited flights and seats coming to Egypt, low rates of low-cost airlines, low volume of tourism investment of all kinds, lack of a general organization plan for tourist areas, and lack of balance in tourism. The geographical distribution and star ratings of the existing hotels are commensurate with targeted tourist segments and a non-competitive value for individual tourists from high-spending segments and not relying heavily on technology. The minister revealed that a plan to develop the pyramids area is currently being prepared in cooperation with the Minister of Housing to develop the area from the pyramid to Saqqara to locate hotels and completely reorganize the tourism movement, along with an ambitious plan for the digital transformation of the tourism and antiquities sector, which will be approved by the Supreme Council of Antiquities within 2 years.
Right, welcome back. And the atmosphere of festivities, right? And it's so different in Egypt. Tell me all about it.
Actually, if we're looking for the festivals and celebrations, especially in this Eid, we will find this very, very special. Not because it's Eid al-Fitr only, but actually it's a mix of culture that happened in Egypt. All the people from all religion festival, and they helped each other to make their Eid special. For example, now we have the festivals of Muslim Coptics, and we have the
last week indeed.
We have actually the festival from Christian Coptic together. So all the Egyptian people in the streets actually is happy. So if you are going to the stores, the streets itself, the gardens, even the museums and archaeological sites, you will find all the people here is pleased, satisfied, and they doing their special taste for Eid by the kind of cooking they have, the kind of clothes they have, all of that things. Yes, exactly, Eid cookies, which is amazing. All the people here, and this mixed culture we cannot find in any other place in the world. So this is reflect the peace and the security and the safety in Egypt, actually.
Yes, indeed. And you spoke about a very important issue, which is the kind of unique harmony that we live in. It has been a week of celebration, starting with the Coptic Isa and up till the night of Eid al-Fitr, or the Lesser Bayram. In light of the feasts and vacations, how important the internal or the domestic tourism is at this very particular time?
Actually, Eid in Egypt is related to how you are going to with the families. Then you will visit the places in Egypt. If you are talking in the Delta, especially here in Cairo, actually, you will find all the people prefer to visit the pyramids. So
just a minute. Delta, as I remember, was Alexandria.
Yes, exactly. We will start from this. Yes, we will start from this. Then Cairo, then
the city or the capital.
Yes, exactly. Because also they are visiting the Mediterranean Sea there in Alexandria, so which is the preferred time for people visiting Alexandria in this time, the sea also, and then they are moving to or prefer the visiting the capital, Cairo, pyramids especially, with your family, with your friends, and they will enjoy there by entering the pyramids, and also the camels and the scenes there is actually amazing. Also,
actually, gardens also.
Yes. Yes. We have here in Egypt the most amazing gardens like Al Azhar Park and Al Orman garden, full of trees and full of history, because the trees there actually before maybe hundreds of years ago, the plants there. So the people will enjoy it, especially when they have their breakfast or their lunch, going there, playing their children around them to visit, or doing their actually a lot of activities we can do in gardens, not only related to just staying and looking at the trees. The people actually working, playing, and doing a lot of things. They satisfied their mind for a while. It's Eid, so all the people should be happy.
A breakthrough from everything.
Exactly.
From every hassle and every stress.
And because it's limited place, so they will not fear about their children to going around them in far place or around them, so it will be easy for them to satisfied with this idea to give their children their free, their so anything they want to do on this Eid is available at that time.
Yes, indeed. I mean here, what I meant here was how are we encouraging people from around the world, particularly from Arab and Muslim world, because
Yes.
I guess we have our own flavor of celebrating Eid. How are we encouraging such tourism?
Actually, but sometimes in some occasions, Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities doing like the entrance for the Egyptians, especially, it will be for free in all archaeological sites at this time. So this is a kind of encouragement in this, giving the holidays. Most of large time to take the people, to make the people taking their breath, or even traveling to other places in Egypt, and archaeological places, for example, in Egypt, they give them a chance to visit this. Like we have an amazing weather nowadays, so it's a suitable time to visit Hurghada, Sharm el-Sheikh,
Even Luxor and Aswan.
Even Luxor and Aswan, and this is the most beloved destination for Egyptian people in this time, because they actually, knowing their history and going with a cruise on the Nile, it will be something amazing, seeing all of that. So you will find the people love to go to these places, especially at this time, because also the Eid vacation is kind of long, so that it have a chance to visit more than places, not only stay in the country you are in or in the place you are in.
Indoor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, indeed, indeed. We have also our very special rituals and kind of festivity mood.
Yes.
We as Egyptians.
Yes, that's true. Actually, this is kind of rituals started before thousands of years ago from the ancient Egyptian people. They type of celebrating or festivals when they are making cakes and cookies, and actually we found all of that giving on the offering on the scenes and the tombs and temples and this stuff. So we keep this ritual from thousands of years ago till this moment. The taste or the smell of the Eid itself and the weather. So we can see the people going to their relatives, give them these cookies, eating together with each other, going out together. And this is also something amazing here in Egypt, that we are related to each other. Even we are Muslims or Christians, so you will find the Muslims say to the Christians, Happy Eid, and the Christians say to the Muslims, Happy Eid. We didn't have this kind of, it's a different religion or different something. All of us is the same thing. We are celebrating with every Eid here in Egypt.
Remember that we told our Copts or our Coptic family and friends,
Yes.
where are the cookies?
Yes.
So we can give you our cookies
Yes.
when it comes to Eid al-Fitr, remember?
Exactly, they giving each other, please test if your cookies is well done more than me. So the competition here appeared, who is doing the most delicious cookies at that time.
Right, when we speak about the day of Eid al-Fitr itself, and the day and the rituals start with the Eid al-Fitr prayers at the very morning or just after the dawn.
Yes.
And it starts with takbirat or Allahu Akbar, God is great, and all this in Cairo, which is very much special and very much known with its 1,000 minarets, right?
Yes, for sure.
Let me know about how this goes and the atmosphere of that at the very let's say tomorrow morning.
Yes, actually talking about this topic is very special because we're doing a preparation before that in many mosques here in Egypt. It's historical mosques, archaeological sites, which is Al-Hakim B'Amrillah Mosque in Al-Mu'azza Street, and also Amr ibn al-As. All the restorations have been done there. So before hundreds of years, those mosques considered as the biggest mosques here in Egypt.
Now we're speaking about also new mosques, Al-Fattah Al-Alim, and also this
Yes.
very important, of course,
Yes.
Al-Azhar institution,
Yes.
which is the greatest or the most prestigious Islamic institute, but also one that has been
Exactly.
inaugurated recently, which is the Islamic Center for Culture.
Yes.
Please.
This is one of the most important things, not only in Egypt, but in all Arabic world, because we have nothing like this in all the world. If we are talking about even the other maybe museums and in our neighbor Arabic countries, there is nothing compared between the Islamic Center art here or the others in all the world. Why? Because it contains every small details that related to the Muslims' rituals and Eid and Ramadan in every place. So when you enter, you will understand more the Islamic, how they going with their religion, why they respect it, and a lot of ideas about that. And here we can talk about the idea also of Eid al-Fitr and the celebration of it, and how the Egyptian actually respect and loved all things that related to their religion. And one of the most amazing thing actually that happened after al-Takbirat and Eid festivals, and after we finished prayer in the mosques and this stuff, actually eating, especially in Eid al-Fitr, eating fisikh. This is something very special here in Egypt, in Eid al-Fitr actually. Why? Because it's happened in the time actually with after the Sham al-Nasim.
Let's say salt fish.
Salted fish.
We do not specify.
Dried fish.
Okay.
This is dried fish, and actually this is ancient Egyptian tradition
Yes.
to eat salted fish, because we didn't have an option to eat salted fish in Ramadan and feast, because we need to drink water all the time after eat it. So we delay it to be eaten, but in the first day at Eid with the cookies. We eat salted fish and cookies, and actually the weight is overweighted because here the Egyptian cuisine is special in its taste. So you will find the people who's coming from other places, even in the Arabic countries, they looking for the pastries and the bakeries for the Egyptian, for the Egyptian food, exactly, and for Eid, because the cookies here and or al-kahk especially, it's completely different taste. We have, if we are going to any people and we ask him for al-kahk, he will say, okay, this is more good more than this, because this is recipe is different. But in other Arabic countries, they didn't have kahk. They have only a cookies. That's we said it's cookies. To symbolize the meaning of al-kahk, it's something like cookies, but it's most delicious then.
We have to say that we are very special.
Yes, for sure.
In that particular kind of cookies or dessert. Let me here ask you. How do you view the government's efforts to use the feasts in promoting for tourism?
This is an important point, because at this time we are working through all the year to these festivals, working in actually how we can develop these archaeological places and prepare it for the suitable time, especially in Eid. How we can or how we do this, as we said, before Al-Eid and before the prayers of Al-Eid, we opened the most important archaeological mosques here in Egypt, Al-Hakim Bamrullah and Mu'izz Street and Amr ibn al-As, the first, considered as the first mosque in all Africa. So this is a preparation actually, and good, because all the people celebrated in these places. We are going by increasing the people who are working there to add the service to the people who will coming, because the pressure in archaeological sites and mosques and museums and this time is very, very high. So we need to make everything is clear, everything going on the path and going in the road without any problems. We study the capacity of the places, how we can manage the entrance of the people in that time, because some people said, okay, we're taking a long time to take our ticket, so the government actually doing a forward step to making the online reservation in the website, so you can go for your ticket online now and take it, just enter without taking the long queue front of the tickets window. So it will be something amazing. We see what happened bad, and we actually want to make it better than what that happened actually before years ago. So this is a very, very important step. And Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities sometimes, especially in the vacations and the Eid celebrations, specific celebration, they are doing like open the museums and archaeological sites for free at the first time, maybe for one day, what I mean. So this is also a good point. This is encourage the people, especially the youth people, to visit these places.
This is when we speak about domestic ones.
Yeah.
We were speaking about efforts by the government to promote for feast and tourism. Or the domestic tourism. Let me here take, how do you view the government's efforts in promoting tourism worldwide, particularly during such times or periods?
By opening new museums, doing different kinds of tourism, encourage the tourism by different way and promote it by different way. Actually, one of the most amazing things that have been done by Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, that the virtual tour tourism and website. So when you being in the virtual world in general, this encourages you to visit the museums and those sites widely, and actually you want to be here for this time. What also make Egypt as a special destination for Europe in general, that we have amazing weather. So if you are here in summer or winter or any different season, you will find the weather is amazing. You can visit actually the tourism. We have many types of tourism here in Egypt, and all of them is very amazing, like the blue tourism, which is the sea tourism. We have actually North Coast, and we have the
entertainment,
yes, exactly,
conferences, therapeutical, religious.
Very amazing.
Cultural.
Yes.
We have it all.
We have all the tourism that could be people loved around the world. So if you want to go into the sea, we have 2 sea and 1 river. If you want to go to the desert, we have one of the most amazing places on this world, actually, which is listed in the UNESCO list, the Wadi al-Hitan and Wadi al-Rayyan, the Valley of Wheels, and we have also the White Desert. Stargazing there is amazing, and the place here, the place there also is very beautiful. And if you want to go to see the culture, to see the heritage, to learn about the ancient Egyptian, how they lived, what they are doing in their life, and actually to prove that the Egyptian people and the Egyptian land that started from here and will be here forever. So this is actually amazing. This is a way of giving the people an idea about our tourism, about the destination that we have, about the places we have, whatever you like. With there is no high cost for the traveling itself between
affordable prices.
Exactly, between the country, the cities here, even in Egypt, we have the development and everything. So we have the new airports, we have the new railways also. So it will
transportation systems that facilitate the transportation.
Exactly. So it's very, very easy and very amazing. The Sun of Egypt give you a power that you will never in any place like that.
If I may ask you here about preparations that the country have made already, and before we speak about campaigns and online campaigns that Egypt has launched several times, because there have been many many initiatives or online propagation for Egypt. And before I speak about that, how about preparations the country has made in order to be able to receive or to adopt a national strategy for tourism?
Actually, looking for the places that the tourists will arrive in, the hotels, the transportation, the places they will visit.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure in general, they doing a great effort to facilitate everything for the people, for the tourist itself, the tourism in general, and the roads. Actually, if you want to traveling to the place by your own car, if you didn't like to go in an airplane or using the ordinary transportation, you want to go with your own car, it will be more easier than before years ago. So the roads now is amazing, especially when we are talking about the routes that we are the attractive tourism places like Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada. The route there is amazing. It's taking shorter than it before. All the facilities you can find by the people who can help you, and the people also giving you the service itself. So you will find all the people inside the hotels and the archaeological sites look at you and they are smiling because you are here in the Egyptian land. So the meaning of the hospitality in general is increasing in the people mindset now. So it make your visit is different. So if you want to visit Egypt for a time, you will visit it for each time and each occasion.
Before we go on with initiatives, let me here take a report on the domestic and the initiatives that the tourism ministry, along with the agencies and Egyptian institutions, did and extended in a bid to bolster tourism. Let's watch.
The Ministry of Tourism extended some initiatives for Egyptians to visit touristic areas. According to the Ministry of Tourism, the program includes trips or long weekend trips to visit touristic destinations in Luxor, Aswan, and South Sinai's Sharm el-Sheikh, as well as Dahab, Taba, and Nuweiba. The initiatives target all segments of society, including trade unions, universities, governmental bodies, NGOs, companies, and clubs. According to the statement issued by the ministry, extending the initiative is part of the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourism Promotion Authority's efforts to promote the tourism sector, to encourage citizens to participate, and to enable a greater number of citizens to enjoy such an opportunity. The events will seek assistance from Ministries of Aviation and Youth and Sports and their governorates where the event will take place. The initiatives coincide with the holidays, giving the greatest opportunity for many age segments to get to know and enjoy Egypt's touristic sites, aiming to increase domestic tourism spending, which would contribute to the recovery of tourist influx to these touristic sites and raise efficiency associated with tourism services. The initiative aims to bolster domestic tourism in light of the lagging rates of incoming international tourism. According to the Ministry of Tourism, Egypt received 11.7 million tourists in 2022, up from 8 million in 2021, marking a 46.2% increase.
Right, welcome back, and back to you, Rana, and the initiatives. As we've seen, the country has, in coordination with other institutions, have organized several initiatives to promote for Egypt. How do you view those initiatives and how successful they were?
Actually, the successful seeing in the numbers of the tourism or the tourists that we have here in Egypt by doing promoting from themselves from this institution and NGOs. Actually, this has played a very, very important role to encourage and tell the people how amazing and how it's safe and the security of Egypt when you visit it in any time, not only in Eid actually, in any time you can visit, how the people can offer the help for you. And actually what is amazing about this strategy, when they are doing a hotline for any question you want to ask about, any something bad happened for you in Egypt, the hotline is very, very fast to answer all your questions. To be safe in the safe place, also to be preparing the tour guides is very, very important at that time, because they are like an ambassadors of Egypt, so they very, very well educated, and they have the enough awareness to talk about the heritage, to talk about the Egyptian places in general, and their amazing talking, how they facilitate everything you ask about, and how they give you the information you want to ask about. All the bazaars, even all the places you as a tourist will visit it, you will find you are welcoming in Egypt, and all the people will be loved to be here in Egypt.
The warmth of Egyptians
Yes.
is an enormous feature of our character. Let me take it from this perspective. And remember in 2019, there have been like 13.4, almost 13.5 million tourists who came to Egypt just before the coronavirus pandemic.
Yes.
And that was a real comeback to the tourism sector. For the first time since, or in almost two years, in 2022, we have reached 11 and something million tourists. How do you view such an increase? How can we reach what we are aiming for? Or the Ministry of Tourism, when it launched this or adopted this national strategy for tourism, it aims for 28 to 30 million tourists.
Yes.
How can we reach that? What is requested?
Actually, we're still working on this strategy, so this is not the end. We still have a lot of plans to do in Egypt. We have and we are working actually in doing more cooperation with all the museums and the archaeological sites, and even the tourism with all the world. We are searching about a new kind of activities when the tourists arrived here to Egypt to do. Sometimes we said in the tourism in general, the cultural tourism is not repeated, because if you visit the pyramid, you would not like to visit it again. But our strategy now work on going to these places more than one time. So by doing different activities, by doing different display for the objects, by doing different mindset for the people who's working there, and also the temporary museums that happened inside, the activities, everything going to be changed. So if you visit the pyramid once, you will visit another time to doing this different activity, to see the pyramids from different side. That's the strategy we are working on now, and we still have a lot of things to be achieved.
Coming back to this time we're speaking about, and we're speaking about festivity moods and the feasts and all this, does the tourist influx to Egypt from Arab countries reflect on our tourism, and how are we promoting for this kind or those type of, because we're not speaking about tourists really, we're speaking about brothers coming to their to their second countries.
Actually, here there is something special for our people in general. So if we are going on any archaeological sites or any touristic place in general, we will find the tickets is for Arabic and there is a tickets for the Egyptian. So this is here something very, very special, because we encourage them to visit us, and they actually know well how Egypt is beautiful, and the celebration weather and celebration moods in general. So we will find, if we're talking with our Arab friends from all the countries, they will say, okay, we hope to visit Egypt and Al-Eid, because we see in the television that you have a kind of food and kind of the relatives, the street itself.
Cafes, restaurants, and hotels.
Yes, the street itself, the environment in the street giving you the touch of Eid. So from the people, from the smiling all the time, from the cars, the colored cars there, the fireworks all the time. So here is the specialties. They known by this thing, and we do an actually, if we are talking for Arabs and they looking for them, okay, you look like Arabian man or European woman, so we are welcoming you to give you something from our heritage, from our culture. So the people like this so much. We're promoting by also doing cooperations, a lot of cooperations with our Arabic countries, and even the agents there, they encourage them to coming to Egypt and this type.
Egypt, as you said, respectively, enjoys several kinds, or there is a diversity of the kinds of tourism that Egypt has, like the ecotourism, the culture, the therapeutical, and the entertainment one. But there was this very new one, conferences,
Yes.
tourism.
Yes.
And that was very much obvious during the COP27, or this
Yes,
huge
sure.
conference that has been held in Egypt. Definitely there have been some other conferences before, like for instance the World Youth Forum,
Yes,
and
sure.
other important conferences. How do you view this kind of tourism, and how are we dealing or promoting in this domain?
Proudly, we have the tourism or conferences, tourism in Egypt that never happened in Arabic world in general. Even we said in all Africa in general. So we will found Egypt as take the lead in this. So we want to tell the people that we have the power of doing everything. And doing anything we need. So all, for example, in COP27, we have all the world leaders here in Egypt in one place for a first time before...
For 18 days.
Yes.
18 days.
18 days, and all the people there is very amazing. They are very helpful with the people there. And if we're looking for the people who said about the COP27 in Egypt, they said this is the best edition of COP27 actually, because we have amazing weather at that time. We have the sea, the sun, and we have also the preparation of the
preparation and the organization, and the very, very, very expertise who dealt with the
Yes,
organization
for
of the
sure.
festival. Yes, indeed. Indeed, that is a new kind of culture or new kind of tourism that we adopted here.
Yes.
How do you view the future of such?
I see this will be increased because we are looking for doing more international conferences that could be happened here in Egypt.
Next May there will be this big, huge conference of the African banks.
Yes, this is give an indication for all the world, and take care. Egypt is in the beginning. Egypt will take the lead of this in Africa, and this is also giving us information that we are changing ourselves and doing the best for the next years.
And we were speaking about tourism and the different kinds of tourism. Last year, a project was launched up towards green development of the tourism sector. What is the importance of such a project? How do you view this trend that the whole world is adopting?
Searching about the trends is very important to encourage the tourism in general. So we will find a lot of people and even the bloggers, YouTubers coming here to Egypt talking about their experience. So some of the people, when they're talking about their experience in general, they have something they didn't like. It's acceptable, and there is a lot of things other they like in all the way. So what we are working on the trends now here, it's also about seeing what is the new in the world in general. So like visiting the places, the green tourism for general.
This is exactly what I was speaking about, the green development of the tourism sector, or the green tourism.
So the green tourism here in Egypt that we are working on, like what happened with the Grand Egyptian Museum. So the Grand Egyptian Museum take the prize, and they are going on as the biggest green project in Egypt in that time. So we are thinking about this also. When we are developing our gardens, developing our places that helping the green, and also we are talking about the COP and how we can save the environment, and this is another kind to
remember
improve.
During the COP27 when the whole Sharm el-Sheikh turned into a green city.
Yes, exactly. So actually, and the hotels at that time, they are there is a competition between them who will have the title of the green hotel that time. So this is going very good, not only in the play the role, not only on the hotels, but also in the new perspective in the museums and the archaeological sites. And we are working now in the archaeological sites to hold the gardens inside that. The most knowing thing about the gardens in the museums, the garden of the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir. We have also in the Palace of Muhammad Ali, it's a garden with the actually rare trees inside. So actually we're developing our tourism also in that way, and in this green perspective to save all the world and to save the planet itself, because this is the only place we can save or we can as a human stay in. So this is how the Egyptian going in this way.
If I may take, I have two important questions remain, and I have very few minutes. So if I may ask you about this green development of the tourism sector, and how would that contribute to our tourism at this upcoming stage?
Actually, talking about this point,
definitely we're speaking here about Egypt's Vision 2030.
Yes, exactly. So we are going to doing more green places, more green to save the environment in general, and also to make the people, when they are visiting any place, not just feel they are living in the desert. Because a lot of people thought that Egypt, especially who didn't visit Egypt before, they thought Egypt is considered at or look at pyramids and the desert. This is not true. So working on this development and this kind of tourism is very, very important to be on the trend, as we're talking about the trends in general. So this is very, very important point to our to walking through it, and we are actually doing it.
My last question, and I need just 1 minute.
Yes.
Just 1 minute. We're much anticipating for the inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum.
The Grand Egyptian Museum. This will be, inshallah, the greatest museum in all the world, and the greatest one, the largest one, housing the Egyptian antiquities or antiques in general from thousands of years ago. They are also displaying and the treasure of Tutankhamun for the first time to be together after we opened the tomb of it. A lot of amazing
It was
things.
very well constructed in a very,
Yes.
very accurate way to preserve all the monuments
Yes,
inside.
exactly.
Whatever the weather that comes, all the monuments are
Yes,
very
for
well
sure.
protected and preserved.
For sure.
We're very much anticipating for that, and I guess my time is out and I have to end it here. Rana Ihab, researcher at the Faculty of Archaeology, we thank you so much for being
Thanks for
with
you.
us. A happy Eid or Lesser Bayram for you and all your beloved.
Thank you, dear. Happy Eid for you and for all the people here.
Thank you. And I guess that takes us to the end of this episode. All our blessings and all our congratulations to the whole world, to the whole Muslim world around the globe. A very happy Eid Fitr or Lesser Bayram to you and all your beloved and families. Many thanks for watching.
Eid Saeed, let's enjoy this happy day.